Okay, I'm Christina Cito. I'm a Health Humanities Fellow at Johns Hopkins, and I'm joined here by my fellow emergency doctors, Dr. Weinstein, Dr. Vroon, Dr. Bahara, Dr. Irvin, and we are here to talk to you today about some medical improv. Awesome. Oh, good. Okay, you got the slides. Okay. I don't know how to go forward.
I'll flip it.
Okay. We have no financial disclosures. And so medical improv is a new field, and it was initially started by Robert Choche in 2013, and then Dr. Katie Watson and Belinda Fu in 2016. And it's all about practicing communication, empathy, and fast reactions. And emergency medicine is very special. I think we know that. We have constant task switching, lots of creativity and resource management, huge demands on our time, and constant communication. And medical improv is a great way to train those skills, and it creates a low stakes, deliberate practice environment so that we can train all the skills necessary to be emergency medicine doctors. So we have a fun game that we're going to play together, and hopefully this session will give you all some empowerment and some enthusiasm to say yes and to medical improv in your emergency medicine practice.
Okay. So you did hear Dr. Cito say we are going to be playing a game together, an improv game. So I was invited to kind of set the ground rules, and I am saying the ground rules because I am not a performer. And this was my approach, and this is kind of how we came together. Broadly, this is not about being funny or performing, which I tried to do the first time I did the improv, right? This is about bringing your own expertise, your own perspectives to this experience. There's no right or wrong answers. Everyone is invited to participate, but no one is obligated to participate. We invite you to participate, though. Struggle and discomfort will happen, and that's okay, right? That is what happens when we learn. And expect and accept non-closure, right? There might be more questions than answers during this little session of improv, but again, we're here to learn together. So bring your all into this improv kind of experience, and hopefully we're gonna learn something new today.
Okay, hi, can you all hear me okay? We're a small but mighty group. This is where all the fun happens. So one of the amazing things about medical improv is it makes a lot more sense if you just try it out. So we can talk more about its utility, how amazing it is, how it really, I think, can revolutionize how we understand how we communicate with each other in the emergency department or in our own personal lives, personally. But it's better if we try it first. So we're gonna play a little game. And as has been already promised, you're not expected to be funny. You don't even have to be very clever. You just have to be present. And so if anybody's feeling nervous, I'm going to tell you right now that I'm not going to ask you to do anything harder than count to 3. Can anybody count to 3? Somebody want to just demonstrate? Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Perfection. Round of applause. But if I just had you count to 3, you'd be like, this is boring and not really such. So we're going to count to 3 in pairs. So what I'd like to ask you to do is find a partner, stand up. You got to stand for this. Give yourselves just a tiny bit of space. You don't need a lot, but enough so that you can move a little bit, engage, and hear each other. Doesn't have to be somebody you know. And I'm going to have you count to 3 in pairs, and this is how it works. You're going to alternate, so it'll look like this. Person A, pick a person A. Okay. Person A is going to start. They're going to say 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3. Just like that. And I'm going to have you repeat that together, counting to 3 until I tell you to stop. Now, there are a couple of goals to keep in mind. Number 1, you want to keep the rhythm going. So, like a waltz, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? And also, you want to go quickly. So I don't want to, not enough time to really think about it. So not a 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Those are the rules. Does anybody have questions about that so far? Everybody's got that. Okay. One more piece of this. At some point, when you're counting, one of you is going to mess up. I promise. You're going to say the wrong number. You guys are going to say a number together, or you're going to have a really long pause, right? All of those are mess ups. That's totally fine, totally normal, to be expected. When that happens, here's the genius of the game. Both you and your partner will stop, bow extravagantly to one another like this, and say, ta-da. And then you'll start counting again. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, ta-da. 1, 2, 3. Does anybody need a partner? Okay. So one of you do. One of you come this way, and I'm going to partner you over here. Perfect. Okay. Is everybody ready? On your marks, get set, count.
1.
Excellent. Don't just bow and start again. Do it boldly. Own it. Lean into your ta-das. Okay, go ahead and stop. Give yourselves a round of applause. That was loud. That was amazing. And also, I think, too easy. So we're going to make it just a tiny bit harder. We're going to do the same thing, counting to 3. But this time, instead of saying the word 1, you're going to clap your hands. So it'll look like this.
2,
3, 2,
3, 2.
3. Get it? Same rules, big bows, own your mistakes, and go. Keep your cadence going. Ta-da together. If there's a big pause, go ahead and bow. Okay, and stop. Should we do one more round? Okay. Okay. So this time you're going to clap for 1, stomp for 2, and then say 3. So it'll look like this. 3. 3. Ta-da. Okay. Ready? Begin. Try to keep your cadence up. And stop. Okay, come on back close together so we can debrief together. Because the debrief is where the game really takes shape. So first, let's give ourselves a round of applause. That was pretty amazing. So just like in simulation, the real money shot, right, is in the debrief. And that's true for applied improv also. So I want to start just by asking, what did you notice playing that game? It's harder than you thought. What do you think made it harder?
I think I always, like, because we're facing each other, you want to mirror the other person. So we kept just doing the same thing at the same time.
So there's some habits of wanting to mirror. We learned that in communication. And so you were doing yours. I mean, it's beautiful in its own way. Yeah, okay. What other things did you notice? Oh, that was a call out. My partner was making a mean face.
Sometimes you get so concerned about what your next move is that you don't listen to what the other person is doing first.
Oh, So sometimes maybe you're not present because you're thinking about what you're in charge of. Does that ever happen when you're having conversations with patients or nurses or residents? All the time. And that changes kind of where you are connecting, right? How did it feel to make a mistake? Funny. Why?
Because you got to take a bow, yeah.
Got to take a bow. So if you happen to know your partner, there was an element of real comfort there because you could just really lean into the silliness of it.
We had a hand back
Oh,
here.
yeah. About making a mistake. Yes, yes, yes.
I found it easier to make a mistake because we went into this with the expectations that mistakes were going to happen. So I was disarmed.
I love that. Did anybody else feel that way? That you sort of had permission, like this is an expectation. How many of you have ever stuck your foot in it when you're having a conversation? And then what do you do? What do you do when that happens? I bow. It would be so nice, right, if everyone had read the script. They're like, let's start over. What do you do when you say the really wrong thing?
Depending upon the situation.
So did you hear that? You either ignore it and slowly back out of the room, right? Or you own up to it. And what determines which one you choose?
I think it depends on the situation, like your personal life, your work life, you know.
So, yeah.
How much like how I stated it, how bad the thing was that you said.
So there are a lot of things that factor in. How bad was it? What are the stakes involved? Are you ever going to see the person again? Is it your personal life? Is it your work life? But it's not necessarily innate. We usually actually we make a mistake and feel like we have failed in some really big way. But it's a natural part of communication. You can't have honest communication without messing it up sometimes, right? And wouldn't it be nice if you could just and start over? Can you? Maybe. Yeah. So there's a great saying in communication that communication got you into the mess, and it's the only thing that's going to get you out, right? That's your only like ramp out of there. And it's not, you may not be able to bow and ta-da again, because not everybody's played the game, but you can stop and say, gosh, that really didn't go the way I wanted it to. Can we start over? It's a real opportunity. Do you have, I feel like you were behind me and you wanted to say something.
No,
Oh.
I was just trying to like point out the people.
Oh, thank you. What other things struck you playing the game? Just in general. What about that? What about the people around you? So there was an element of competition that some people thrive in, for sure. Was it fun? Yeah.
The more moving parts, the harder it got. So hand-eye coordination and like numbers to actions made communication a little bit tougher, and more mistakes happen.
So when I gave you a more intricate counting mechanism, it got harder to keep track and stay present and move forward, and mistakes happened a lot more. I'm going to stop there because I know we have a 20-minute window to talk about applied improv. But this is a game that's commonly done in improv because it makes you stay present and focused. with your partner, which is a critical piece of improvisation, right? Being present so you can be responsive in the moment. And it's a really useful game in applied improv because there are so many different ways that you can think about the activity and think about how it applies to work that we do every day. And in this case, we talked about making mistakes in communication, but there are other applications to exercises like this as well. I'm going to stop and hand it back to Dr. Cito, but thank you for playing with me. I hope that you enjoyed that game.
Yes, give yourselves a round of applause for all of you to participate. We just want to talk about, this is sort of what we were just talking about, but why does medical improv matter and how does it work? And it's this space of deliberate practice. Olympic athletes train every day. They drill certain pieces of their skill set, and this is the same thing. We drill different forms of communication, different uncomfortable interactions, different body language, everything. And once we drill it, we get better at it. And so this is a way to do that. It also creates a sense of awareness. How are we perceived by the person who we're talking to? We perceive ourselves so easily, but it's hard to perceive what the other person is perceiving about us. And improv is a great way to get that feedback and understand, what am I giving off? What am I portraying? And then the last thing is this idea of self-editing that we've talked a lot about in this group, which is that you can go back. You can start over. We can try it again. We can try it from the top. And I think a lot of us in emergency medicine know that feeling of starting one plan or one patient interaction and saying, no, let me take that again, or let's try something else, or let's switch course. And this is a safe way to do that. And that's a huge part of our job. So, okay. We have a little bit of time if anyone has any questions. Does anyone have any questions about medical improv? We have a QR code. This is if you have more questions, it goes for our reference list. You can read more about medical improv as a field. It's new. It's kind of up and coming. It's very fun, and also has some extended debrief questions you can use with your learners or your institution. Oh, question.
Wondering, what is the best, or in the emergency department, what specific uses have you guys found this to be most helpful? Is it with medical students, residents, all the above, procedures? Like, what tangible things have you guys found to be helpful?
That's an excellent question. Obviously, the application is the most important. At Hopkins, we have a curriculum for our residents, and we work with our residents and our faculty during didactics. And so we did a medical improv session this year to build community and kind of tackle the loneliness epidemic, and also work on communication and empathy building. And I'm sure Dr. Weinstein has other applications.
We've done it, so I'm at IU in Indiana, and we've done several different modalities. We've done a whole day-long, year-long curricula working on advocacy, so how to communicate with lots of different stakeholders about things that are important in healthcare. We're doing one right now with faculty on healthcare communication and empathy and connection. And then we've done lots of different sessions with residents, particularly around communication and agility and getting comfortable with that notion of uncertainty that happens so commonly in our practice in the emergency department. One of the really nice things about applied improv is that it's really disarming. So people, even if they're a little bit like begrudgingly coming to the session, almost inevitably leave happy and like they've had a bunch of fun and nobody put them in a tough place. And the insights just come organically. And typically what happens is I'll have a resident pull me aside on a shift and say, Weinstein, did you see me using all my feeling balls? Which is a reference to a game of invisible catch. I'll be like, I did see that, and that was pretty amazing. And so I think it's one of the things we love so much. There's obviously there's a whole scope that we could get into, and 20 minutes was short, so we wanted to give you a taste of it. But we're all available anytime to talk more through it if it's something you are interested in learning more about or trying to institute. Okay. So I would say that I sometimes will reference some of the rules of improv. So we didn't get into that here, but you've probably heard of yes and, if you are familiar with Saturday Night Live or Second City. There are a number of different sort of tenets that underlie applied improv. And sometimes, especially with a learner who's done some sessions with me, we might reference one of those tenets in that moment, but I don't typically do applied improv like in the department itself. Do you?
I don't think we've ever done any applied improv in the department itself, but I will say some of the techniques that we use in applied improv really come in handy when talking to having like difficult conversations with consultants or patients, being very present and reacting in real time to new information, especially if you have people you don't know very well or new team members that they seem like they have one agenda and you have another agenda, to bridge that gap. And then also to just people just say really crazy stuff sometimes in the emergency room. And I think being able to just react and say, okay, and kind of move forward from there as a team member is something that improv training has really helped with. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope, yeah, we can talk more. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's very fun. So yeah, thank you for that question. Anyone else?
Other questions, observations, final thoughts? You just want to start counting again?
Okay, well, round of applause to all of you for participating. Thank you so much. And feel free to find us.